Hey, you are now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast, sponsored in part by Noble L Works over on 1621 South St. Clair, where you can get discounts by just mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Drink discounts on us, baby. And also by 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get, and you also get 10% additionally off in the Apply Now code once you order your tickets just by mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show.
Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Welcome to the Halos in the Infield post-game podcast with Todd Fox, sponsored by Noble Ale Works Brewery, as well as 714 Tickets. This is your nightly destination for all things Los Angeles Angels. Come join Todd as he recaps every thrilling and disappointing moment from tonight's game, win or lose. Get ready for insightful analysis, fan reactions, and Todd's engaging commentary. Plus, fans can call in live to the Halo hotline to have their voices and opinions heard as well.
It's the Halo hotline.
Stay tuned in for your chance to win free Halos merchandise with our weekly trivia.
It's all about the game.
It's time to dive into the heart of Angels baseball with Todd Fox on the Halos in the Infield postgame podcast.
There's a drive from Mike Trout. See you later. That is long gone.
It's the Todd Fox postgame podcast with your host, Todd Fox.
Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield, the only, and I mean only, post-game show that features your Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, of Western Hemisphere of the Republic of China, that is right here on the Heedy Post-Game Podcast Network. Now, before I get into any of the stuff that we're going to talk about, we've got a controversy that I'm going to address, not only myself, but also with a buddy from Catella Chronicles. You know him by Dominic. I'll have him on later on the show after my monologue and I break down the game and we get into a few comments. But I'm just letting you know this show's going to be a little different tonight. And it's more passion from me tonight for many reasons. But this one right here gets me because, again, it's the same old song. It's the same old dance, extra innings affair. And it doesn't matter Kyle Tucker. It doesn't matter the manager who's managing the Angels against the Houston Astros. It is still the same result. Pitch to Tucker. Tucker kicks our ass. There you go. And before I get into that, I just got a preference again to check out the shirts. The Sell the Team shirts are up on eBay and on Etsy and on Shopify. Just look up Halos in the Infield or HITI and you'll find us at one of those links. Now, again, we are the only post-game podcast out there. And I will say that for several reasons moving forward. And we will dive into that in a second. But the Angels, and we all know the Trent Rush story, but there's another story that's popping up, so it'll be very interesting. The Angels are 19-30 as they drop, again, 11 games under 500. They're at least 13-14 on the road, which is better than we could talk about their home record. The Houston Astros are 22-27. They're 14-14 at home. This game, again, anything you can do, I can do better, should have been the theme. Because the Angels scored 2 in the first with Renifo hitting a 2-run homer. The Astros hit 2 solo shots to tie it up. Angels get 2 runs in the 4th inning and actually should have gotten more and take the lead 4-2. And then, Renifo gets, thrown out or whatever. And then the Angels get I think he got thrown out later. Yeah, so it's 4-2. And then, the Astros knock in a run, Singleton's 2-run blast after a pitch that was questionable, could have been strike 3, was not called. And we're tied at 4, but then Pilar comes through. It's 5-4, and then don't pitch to Tucker again. You pitch to Tucker again, and he hits a home run. It's 5-5. And then, of course, the Angels do what they always do when they get to extra innings, which is do absolutely nothing. And there's times where we're so critical and we say, hey, man, what happened to this team? How come they can't get the hit when it's needed? How come they don't have a bunt single or anything else like that? And then like certain guys in the media like Wayne will get pissed off at the Angels because that's a waste of a bunt right there. That's a waste of an out. Well, what do you think striking out 3 times with a ghost runner at second? This team is the most pathetic pathetic piece of shit team when it comes to extra innings. I don't know what it is, because you can go back to Madden. You can go back to also, what is it? You had Numbnuts Nevin and you had Madden, and both those guys didn't know how to coach their way out of a freaking paper bag in extra innings. And we appear to be doing the same thing with Washington. Some nights we're very careful to score a run, try to get a run, bunting them over, doing it the old-fashioned way. And then other nights we're just like, swing for the fences. It doesn't make a lick of sense. They had no game plan against Hader, and Hader just blew us away for 2 innings, 9th inning and 10th inning. Then all the talk was, hey, you can't bring this guy back for 2 innings. And then guess what they do? They bring him back for 2 innings.
I will grade the managerial performance of Ron Washington.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to a tool on another network. We'll get to that. So again, the Angels win and win the loss column, I should say. See, I got thrown off right there. No, the Astros win 6-5, and the Angels lose a game and probably the series, because tomorrow's 11 o'clock start. We're going to see how that goes. Griffin Canning didn't exactly have his best stuff tonight. Griffin Canning went 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, but threw a lot of pitches, 89 pitches, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, decent. Only the 2 solo homers given up, but he just seemed to be getting very close and teetering if he went out there in the 6th inning of blowing it more. Fulmer actually got a blown save as well. So did Garcia, allowing a home run to Tucker. Fulmer gave up the 2-run shot to Singleton, and that was a no-doubter. Moore and Strickland pitched pretty good, but our good old-fashioned Carlos Estevez came in there and really sucked it up. And again, it's like Gooby said tonight, hey, these 2 guys back-to-back, Farmer, and then you had the problem with Christian Javier. Christian Javier could not get that save or could not pitch good, and we let him off the hook. And you think about it, too, because you had Farmer and Javier who usually kill us, and those guys were just in there doing their thing, pitching however they could. And, well, we lit up a Farmer yesterday, and we lit up Javier today. The problem is, we didn't sting Javier with that loss because the Angels bullpen and then the hitting with runners in scoring position. What happened tonight? 9 men left on base. The Angels went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. I was thinking heavily as I was talking to Jason Hess on text to give Ohapi the what do you call it? The award for what do you call it? Not the John Stamos, but I'm blanking right now because I'm trying to do 50 things at once. My bad. But I was going to give out the nachos to him, and he brought up a good point for him, but I have someone else I'm going to give it to. And boy, we're going to talk about that in a second here. But yeah, the Angels lose. So when they get buttercupped, it's time for this.
Why do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down, mess me around, and the worst of all, you never call baby when you say you will. I love you still, I need you.
I hate playing that, but it had to be played. The Angels buttercupped it, which means if you're new to the show, the Angels had the lead, blew it, and then wind up losing. That's a buttercup game. A Savage Garden game is losing from the start all the way to the end, and then also the Stukas is when we win, we play that. But the Golden Stamos Award, let's get into that. The John Stamos Award for Best Player in the Field has to go to the guy that just routinely kills us, whether it's at Anaheim, whether it's at Houston, and that's Kyle Tucker. You can also argue Bregman, but not so much this season. You can argue Altuve, who always kills us. But fucking Tucker, dude, this guy just like, I don't know what it is, but he just crushes the ball against us every chance he gets. And man, he did tonight twice, and also came up with he scored the winning run. So I mean, they get no luck, bro. They get no luck against the Houston Astros. You could say, well, yesterday they won 9-7, but look how we tried to give that one away. They should have won this game like 6 different times. But I think what it comes down to is a nacho night, and who gets the nacho night tonight? I think maybe you know who this is.
I love the nachos.
Gas station nachos. I love those nachos, yeah. Gas station nachos. Ow.
Oh, the Nacho Night Award for worst player on the field. I'm going to give it to Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward, again, gets the nachos because, dude, hat trick, 3 strikeouts. Now, he didn't have an opportunity where the runner's in scoring position. You could say, well, he had 2 walks tonight, so he reached base twice. You still struck out 3 times. Yes, you did reach base twice. Good for you. That's fine. But my thing is, defensively, I'm over this guy. Did you not see the ground ball that was hit to the left side where they had that short porch and literally it bounces off? Yadier Diaz, I think that's his name, tripped on the first base bag. If Ward is showing just a lick of hustle, Diaz holds at first base. Granted, he didn't come around and score that inning, but the whole fact of the matter is you could have prevented a double. Dumbass Ward jogs to the ball, and actually the shortstop, Neto, grabs it for him. And he turns off like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Then late in the game, I've always been told as an outfielder when I played baseball, minor leagues, high school, what have you, on a fly ball, if you've got position, it's hanging up there. If you got a base runner that it's either threatening to go to the next base, whether it's third to home, second to third, and you're the left fielder or center fielder, and you've got time to set your feet and then run it up to the ball, catch it, and then throw your body and your momentum into a solid throw to whatever base, right? You do it, right? If you got time. Taylor Ward had all sorts of fucking time in left field in the 10th inning. What did he do? He not only got under it, camped under the ball when he had all kinds of time to backpedal, then come up and throw. He camps under it, fakes a throw. Why the fuck are you pump faking? And even if you camp under it, throw it as hard as you can to third. The runner at second doesn't matter. And some reason, somehow, Wayne and Gooby were like, hey, you should have thrown that into second. The runner at second doesn't matter in a tie game in extra innings, dumb nuts. Throw the ball to third. You try to keep the furthest runner, base runner, stop the advancing runner, basically. And instead, you let him do his thing, and he gets into scoring position. Of course, the next guy gets a hit off of Esteves because Esteves sucks. It's the little things, people. It's the fundamentals that kill this team. It's been proven over and over and over. And that was the one thing we were hoping would change with the Angels, the fundamentals. They would learn how to bunt. They would learn how to move guys over. They would learn how to play defense. I don't understand it. How long has Taylor Ward been in the league? And people still think that we should re-sign this guy. Based on what, dude? He's not an outfielder. He's not an infielder. He's not a catcher. He's failed defensively every spot. Is he good enough to be a DH? Hell no. I like what he can give you at times when he's hot, but the problem is he gets cold. And this team can't afford more erratic players. He's part of the problem right now. And again, the pitching wasn't spectacular, but they should have been able to overcome it. The Astros' only good pitcher tonight was Hader. Everybody else was hittable. So I don't want to hear that either. We got spritzed. We literally got spritzed. Now let's talk about the stiffest competition. Who wins the award for Golden Dong tonight?
It's a big Calhoun, the Golden Dome, for the player who stood out all day long. Stiffest competition on the field, halos in the infield, who's gonna be revealed?
You could have said Louis Renifo. I really liked his night tonight. 2 home runs. He had 1 home run, 2-run homer, I should say. He also had an RBI single. He played pretty good. He got robbed of a hit later in the game. Pilar had a nice night, a home run and a walk. And then you had our boy Golden Dong with a couple hits too. He got robbed of one as well. But, 2 guys that struggled tonight. You had Ward and Adele and also Hoppy, 3 of the 4. young guys had real tough nights tonight. But I will say this, though, for the Golden Dong, I have to give it to Josh Hader. 2 innings pitched. He was the stiffest competition, threw 31 pitches, 4 strikeouts in 2 innings, kept the Angels scoreless in 2 critical innings, and that's how they lost the game, as stated, 6-5. So the Golden Dong goes to Josh Hader. Now, one other thing I have to play, and that is Spritz O'Clock, because we got botanical spritz all over us tonight, blowing yet another one. Again, if the Angels would turn around 5 to 6 of these games that were 1 run or the games that we blew late, we would be talking about a 500 team right now. But instead, we're talking about a team that is 8 games out of first place. So we got Spritz on again.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast the day. Sip and cheer, no matter the score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I can't get enough of that. That song, I don't know what it does to me, but I just get, I'm like singing during the day, going Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Saucy starts it out with, your title is accurate. We don't know shit, and Estevez is trash. Mario says, wait, did we lose? Oh no, we suck again. And that's the problem. We have a chance to win 3 in a row, and we can't get it. It's always
One more loss, which could have been a win. You call yourselves professionals. I have never, ever seen a worse group of 25 players. You don't think as a team. You don't play as a team. You don't even lose as a team. You all got your heads so far up your butts, you can't even see the light of day.
And yes.
No! We suck again!
Yes, we're back to that. Also, Lewis says, fuck, the Angels never disappoint. Also, balls, and Ohapi. Ohapi had a terrible night tonight, too, dude. He looked lost to the plate once again.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John
And
Stamos.
Ohapi. Also, balls, and Mid-Opi. Also, Artie says, I'm not going to knock Estevez. He just needs to lose 20 pounds for starters. But what we do with him, serious question. What do we do with him? I think you move him to the 8th inning, like someone said last night. I don't think it should be good for him to be a closer anymore. He doesn't have the mentality right there. CK Man says, should have been strike 3 to Pena. It was outside. He was calling it every time for Hader. Yes. And that's the thing that sucks. It's like Gooby said, it was like, bro, he was calling a great game for 8 innings. All of a sudden, the 9th inning comes around, the strike zone wide open. James goes, bunt, and that's something we should have did. Pena should have struck out, and the ump wanted to see more pitches. Yep, I agree, Dan. Also, as soon as I saw Estevez warming up Strickland, I turned off the TV. Pilar gets the Stamos. He normally would, but I had to give it to Tucker because he always kicks our ass, dude. Also, but once again, in extras, can't move the runner over and or get him in. Also, switch Strickland for Estevez. I like that idea. So glad I skipped this game and saved 4 hours of my life. Yes, Eric, it pissed me off on the way they lose. Also, home plate umpire sucked ass towards the end. J Ram says, fuck. Also, Saucy says, Pilar is great. I love me some Walmart Mike Trout. He's pretty good. Pretty good knockoff right there. Also, James, can we get a bunt? Also, let's see. Q Fireworks, Moreno watching Pilar. Mario says, when we didn't score in the 9th inning, I had a gut feeling the Astros would come back and take the game. Q Lombardi. It was almost a given at that point.
What the hell's going on out here?
Luke says, here's the deal. Estevez does suck, but not scoring in the top of the 10th gives him a huge disadvantage. This is why I hate the runner at second in the extra innings. And that was the thing too. Not only that, I mean, if you think about that hit that he gave up right there to Pena, that ball goes down the line. Both runs are going to score. So even if the Angels were up 1, that would have been it right there. Oh, here we go. Todd is ready for this one, fam. Also, because we're on the road, I hate that. Just move on him over. If we have no faith in the pitcher, then why we try it all? Exactly. or the hitter. Estevez has costed the Angels too many fucking games. He sure has. Let's see. Also, Saucy jumps in with, we got Buttercup with no Vaseline. Let's see. Sebastian says Estevez is trash, and Ward with no hustle didn't even bother to make an attempt to throw out the runner at second in the 9th inning and 10th inning. He sucks. And yes, and he goes 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. I'm getting fed up with him big time. Also, right here, the Angels would have lost the game because of Estevez coming in anyway. Also, Hayes says, glad Estevez blocked me on Instagram. Fuck that lame, not my closer. Why the fuck does Taylor Ward keep doing those fake pumps? I don't know. He thinks he's a quarterback. You can't stop Tucker. You can only hope to contain him. Agreed. Again, another closer pitching back-to-back innings and games. No excuses. Estevez full of excuses and nachos. He is, dude. I mean, he pisses me off, dude. And I hate that. Hey, he's out there for us. They're almost like expecting him to suck, so they're already making him up an excuse. Yo, I have the spring ball game tomorrow. And oh, yeah, I finished football a long time ago. And today, oh, no, yeah. See those hard-hitting stats right there by Big 20. 2 out of 2 on the Calhoun up, and Renifo gets picked up. Oh, yeah, it's true. That's right. 2 on, 2 outs. And I didn't even bring that up, Saucy. Why the hell is Renifo trying to steal a base? Like, just stay on second base, dude. Like, there's 2 outs. Leave him alone. I don't understand that. Tyler says maybe they didn't give a scouting report on Hader. He is pretty new pitcher after all. But see, the problem is, Tyler, that's on our scouting department. That's on our managers and our coaches. They need to get these players ready. I don't want to hear that excuse for the players. And if the players have such an issue too, they should be doing their homework. And what else are they doing during the day? Renifo is a massive liability in the field. He kind of does suck at third. Lowered expectations, Jack Lee's been preaching all year, but I couldn't watch the whole game. Blood Moon checks in with Estevez. Can't pitch his way out of a paper bag. Why do we keep putting him in there? With the game on the line, mind-boggling. Silent E also says Smoking Joe and Numbnuts Nevin know how to coach our heads into paper bags. Esteban says Locked On Network encroaching on the heady territory. Smells like corporate overlords don't like what's being said here. Ooh, Esteban, you're jumping the gun. That's a false start. You are now you've given away what we're going to talk about. I've got some things to say. And I'm not pissed off. I'm not pissed off as far as like who's taking over. And I'll let you know in a minute. I promise. Let me get on some more comments, because currently I'm watching that douche hole right now. I'm just for the hell of it. And I'll probably listen to what he has to say, because I want to see how much stuff he steals from the show. Also, let's see. Jason says Ohapi deserves the nachos and a Buttercup. Blood Moon says as soon as Estevez went out there, the game was over. Exactly. Estevez. They doing a post game now show too. Even from AIM 830 Van, they're impressed by the one and only Golden Dong, Cal Dong, 6'2", 230. He has a lot of power in his lower half. Talking about Abreu, but during Dong at bat, good timing, right? Also, let's see, when does the season start? Eric wants to know. He's been asking this because we're back in preseason.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Exactly. Why does Ward hold onto the ball? I have no idea, dude. Also, but Ward knows how fast Alvarez is. Yeah, right. Also, Jason says, what, Todd, we can give the nachos every other night. However, Ward holding onto the ball in the outfield, K, you have a good point. Also, it's clear testament that MLB favors Houston and wants them to win games, whether it's against the Angels or not. Manfred wants this cheating team to be Bettman, be like the Vegas Knights to win. I don't know about that, but they do get so many goddamn calls, man. It's just so annoying. He definitely pump fake. Fuck, you're right. Also, faking should be used in basketball and in football. Or in a quarterback in a game, James says right there. Also, Ron can't fix stupid. Golden Dong is better, or Hilar. I almost gave it to him. I almost did. Anna says the ball that Estevez threw to Bregman in the 10th inning with 1 and 2 was one of those pitches Matt is talking about. Yeah, there was some definite, and I mean definite, borderline calls out there, which kind of pissed me off, dude, because it's like if you're going to call it one way all game. Why are you going to change it up when things are most costly to both teams? And I felt there was some very questionable calls being given to the Astros right when they needed them, dude. And that's what I think killed this game tonight. I think that was head trauma, may have caused Ward some from last year, some brain damage. Also, Halo Joe says, no, it was the golden dong. Unfinished business. Eric Ward says also, it was slightly off the outside, called the ball, unlike the outside pitches they threw earlier. And Jason says, what? Hader Pilar was the reason we went to extras. Well, no, they actually tied it. That's the reason why they went to extras. They got that home run from Tucker, if you remember right there. I got spritzed in my eyes, Halo Joe says. Balls, and Manfred favoring Houston, because that is true.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Manfred. Also, damn Todd, next time I'm gonna call your I'm in Cali or you're in Texas, I'm buying. There you go, Jason. I'm good with that. Gold member has a golden dong. Yeah, baby. Balls and shit umpiring. Sorry about that. Let's pour some more right there. See, I got Eric singing it. Sapphire says the Angels are the type of team that makes me think it's 5 o'clock anytime because we lose. Tyler says driving, listening to the game, I got spritz in my eye and crashed my car. Be careful, my man. Be careful. Also, Anna says, let's see, extra innings is rigged. Let's go down here. Fire James Hoy for that blatant favoritism. Grillmaster says Estevez actually didn't pitch too terribly. He got fucked over on the pitch to Bregman. The one to Pena was a bad pitch, but it's the umpires who cost us. Wash should have been out there spitting on him. Well, look, you could say umpires, but in the end, these guys got to hit with runners in scoring position. Plus, they got to move guys over. And again, they were given opportunities. The Angels, although 3 guys in the lineup sucked, you still got to you got to compensate for that and get those runners in, especially in the 10th inning. At least give your what do you call it, your team a chance. And they didn't with 3 consecutive strikeouts. That was pretty lame there in the 10th inning. Also, Dre Money says, as soon as I saw Estevez go in, I knew the game was over. What was Ron thinking? Also, and I agree with that one. IE says, turn off the game once I saw Estevez. Boy, everyone turned it off. Fuck Estevez and the umpire who decides to dictate the fucking outcome. I agree. Luke says, with the rumors of Toronto open to trading Vlad or Bichette, I may be open to the Angels trying to trade for Vlad, maybe Shaughnewill, Ward, and a minor league pitcher. Boy, that would take some guts on this current team right here or the roster. I don't think Perry has that in him to do that. So we'll have to see what happens there moving forward. But definitely, hold on, let me get this. There we go. There we go. You hear me?
Hello.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Well, I'd be better if the Angels won, but
yeah. And by the way, we're doing a quick curveball here, guys and gals. I'll get to some of as much as I can on the what do you call it? The chats. I'm sorry, I'm doing like too many things at once. But yeah,
I will say though, before we get started, I've agreed with everything you've said tonight. I've been watching the post-game show on YouTube, and I agree with everything. You know, I think Taylor Ward, even though the play in the end in the 10th doesn't really make a difference on the trail runner, it's still the technique that we're worried about. What if that was in a big situation and that trail runner was the winning run at the end of the day? So I get it. The Angels offense wasn't bad tonight. Kevin Pillar still proven to be a dynamic force. And the one thing, unless I missed it and maybe my brain's fried, Griffin Canning, to give up back-to-back homers in the first and then to fight back like he's done pretty much all season. He always has a bad first or second inning, but then he finds a way to even out and give the Angels a chance. And, you know, tough luck, no decision for Canning tonight. But overall, I think Canning and this starting pitching rotation is finding some strides over the last couple weeks.
Yeah. They are getting better. He's pitching better, although he only went 5 innings. I just don't I just don't think that this team is really really the way that they're playing is so inconsistent. They have just had these moments where you think you start to believe you have hitters in the box, but then their mentality changes. Like, I don't know what they were thinking in the 10th inning. Yes, I know Hader has electric stuff, but for him to go out there and strikeout and you could tell what was coming almost, and then getting the benefit from the umps. It's like, bro, it's like they're fighting everybody right now.
Yeah, it's a tough situation regardless of how you go about it at the end of the day. But I think, when you get to the 10th inning and you have Cole Tucker and, Gooby and Rendazzo are talking about, is Cole Tucker going to steal? Is he going to steal? No, not in that situation when the middle of the order with Pilar, who's hit a home run tonight, and Adele and Ohapi, who have been very well at the dish of recent in the last couple of weeks. So I get the decision not to run and waste a base runner. But as soon as Pilar gets out and flies out for out number 1, my initial reaction then at that point is bunt, even though it doesn't make sense because you're not going to ask Pilar, who's been your hottest hitter, to bunt in that situation. Maybe you got to play a little selfless baseball and say, Pilar, thanks for tying the game. We appreciate your big hits, but let's bunt the ball and move people over. Okay, I could see that. But once Pilar is out, Ohapi, who looked dismal at the plate tonight, he should have been bunting to third because you never know. Who knows if Hader throws a wild pitch? Who knows if by some miracle of God, Joe Adell gets a base hit after going 0 for tonight? You got to play the odds in whatever favor. But again, like you said, Angels do what they do best in extra innings, not hit with runners in scoring position. It's been a tale as old as time. Whatever you can do, we can do better. And that was pretty much the game tonight. And again, you know how we talk about this all the time. Moral victories, right? How we hate that, right?
Yep.
If I'm going to take a moral victory tonight, through the first 5 games of playing AL West opponents this year, we've been in every single game fighting to the bitter end. So at least from a positive mindset morality standpoint of the season starts tomorrow, we're competitive in the last 5 games. Let's thank you, Artie. Yay. Gosh, man.
Here's the thing I'll say. If we lose tomorrow, it's going to be a super disappointing road trip going 3-3. I expected an opportunity to go 4-2 at worst, maybe 5-1 at best. And like you said, we've been in every game, and it's been it's just
we could be undefeated right now on this road trip.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for extra innings or taking advantage of one different situation, we'd be 5-0 on this road trip and could be talking about a bunch of different things. Now, you made the point about close 1-run games. I was looking at the Angels' record so far, and there's probably more games than I thought of or just kind of penciled in. I counted so far 10 games that were lost by a run or a late rally from the opposing team.
Yeah.
So the Angels at this point could be 29-20.
Yeah.
And that would be good for first place.
You see, but just take half those. I'm telling you, like I would be good right now with a 24-25 record. But
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So here's what I wanted to have you on for straight up, because I know the fact, Dominique, that we have I have feelings about this, and you do too. And let me just set the table of what's going on. So here's a little backstory about Halos in the infield and also Super Halo Brothers. Again, more recently, for whatever reason, we've been getting comments on here on the chat, people saying, hey, you guys, what do you guys think about the other podcasts? What do you think about this and that? And when I gave my breakdown, I said I didn't really like angelswin.com. I didn't like how they go about do things, that they could be so much better. I gave them their props, but I said, here's where they could be better, in my opinion. And I don't think there's any other real podcasts out there. Halo Haven went away. Cox in the outfield's gone. But Super Halo Brothers, a little history right here. When we first started, they were struggling, and we actually overtook them for a minute. And it wasn't until Halo Haven was so boring. I mean, you could literally put a hamster on a hamster wheel and get better ratings, that they canned him over at Locked On, and Super Halo Brothers stepped up and took it. We didn't want it because, number one, it wasn't offered to us, but had we got it, it was too much responsibility. They have the schedules to handle it. And it's like, okay, kudos to them. And when they got it, Fernando and myself both reached out and said, hey, congratulations. This is really cool. You guys are going to step into you got a built-in audience. That's really cool. We're happy for you. And we know you're going to succeed. We gave them nothing but love, nothing but props, propped them up on here, propped them up on everything that we ever did, Dominique. And you did the same thing too.
Yeah.
And so when they took off and they're making that more successful, kudos to them. Whenever someone would ask us, we'd say, hey, they're the gold standard. We appreciate them. We like the way they break down games, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And so it was never a bad thing said. Then it became a part where we're like, hey, we're having these softball games and you could help us out by doing our, with our charities. You have a way bigger audience. How about you pump it up on your side or come out and have a team? And that way we could do all these podcasts together and make it big. Declined, ignored. Okay, fine. Stuff happens. We asked, hey, can we cross over? It'd be nice for our fans to get to know your fans and vice versa. Declined, ignored. Fernando would reach out about other stuff, right? That would happen on their side.
Community events. The
Yeah.
backpack last year.
Yeah. Declined, ignored, right? All these like things, right? So we're over here pumping them up. We have no ill will with them, but we're starting to think, okay, there's a little something to this. How come they never fire back and say, hey, check out Halos in the infield, because they're always pumping us up, or hey, those guys are nice too. Something, right?
Yeah.
And then recently someone said, oh, well, they said, you check out our friends on Halos in the infield. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's like, or those are our friends at Halos. Are we? I mean, because every time I reach out and I talk and I asked about the second time we did the softball game, again, ghosted. And then I asked a question the other day about, hey, would you guys want to get in on our revolution, our paper bag thing, our shirts thing? We'll throw your logo on the shirt too, your social media for free. You don't have to pitch in no money, but would you promote it too? Because we're all trying to get the Halos podcast together and join in the revolution, right? I got Angel Central involved. They're talking to a couple other pages that might join us too. And so I'm like, hey, we don't all have the same goals, but we could have one goal right here, right? The whole thing was trying to bust an Oakland thing, right? On whatever level that we thought we could, right? So long story short, ghosted again. Don't hear nothing from them. And then I guess before you get into your side of it, this is just my side. I've been doing this for 4 years. Not even Trent Rush can go more than 2 days a week on a post-game show. Okay. And I've missed maybe a handful of games since this whole thing has started. I've had people like yourself, Fernando, James, and a few others. We still take care of the post games no matter what, even if they're late, if they're on time, if they're whatever. Right. Mm-hmm. And I felt like we've always done a good job at that. And my thing is like this, we could have cross promoted, because that's what I wanted to do. If they're the gold standard, we'd like for them to say, hey, you know what? We take care of the mornings. They take care of the night. Right. We could have did something like that, but no, there was never any interest. And I'd rather have someone tell me to my face, I don't like you. I don't like your style. I don't like how you come about it. I don't like your takes. And I'd rather have that than someone go behind my back or to my face and be like, oh, you're cool and everything, but behind my back be whatever. And I think this was one of those times where it just feels like they're cool with us, up front, but behind the scenes, there's just like, okay, I had VT on what is it called? Angel Central saying they're stealing our shit. Like they're taking our takes, the same exact takes the very next day and using them on their show. I've been told that by several people after my post game, they're taking that shit the next morning and running with it on theirs. So I'm like, okay, so maybe they're just not that creative. That's fine. I would be more. I mean, if it was the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be like, hey, you know what? I heard this on the show last night, and I just want to bring it to our fans here. If the roles were reversed,
and give credit where credit is due.
Exactly. So my whole thing for this whole thing, last thing, sorry, Dominic, I'm rambling on.
No, you're fine. I am more than willing to listen to this part.
But this is the part that gets me. So today they announced they're backing some guy has no experience and is doing friggin' Lakers, Clippers, UCLA Bruins, and everything else. And he's doing
all LA sports on Locked On Los Angeles or Locked On LA or whatever it's called.
Exactly. Have they? What I would have wanted, out of respect, because if the shoe was on the other foot and we had that stage and they were doing a post game or something different from what we were doing at Locked On, I would be like, hey, tell my superiors in Locked On, shoot them an email. You guys need to get this guy or these guys because they're good. They could add more flair to the page. Their excuse is, oh, we didn't know they were going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Really? I don't believe that for a millisecond. So that's where I just get a little upset. Hold on. We're not taking calls at the moment. So Dominic, I said enough.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I think it's in a situation where we sit here and this has, again, nothing to do with what happened with the Angels tonight. This is a completely separate issue for those that are maybe just tuning in as Todd finishes off his little therapy session, which I love. And I'm glad to be here with it for it because I'm right on the bandwagon with you. It's not so much the act of adding a post-game show to another site.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're all Angels social media. We're all podcasters. We're all, a part of the media side of things and delivering information to Angel fans, regardless if you're the honkiest of honks and you blow your dong out to Artie Moreno every day, or if you're realistic and pessimistic or whatever side of the spectrum you are with the Angels. That's not the focus of this conversation. What I know where Todd's coming from, where I'm coming from, it's the integrity portion of this whole conversation. We're all in this together. And I'm not trying to quote Cole Tucker's wife and baby mama, Vanessa Hudgens here. We're all in this together. We are, but it would have been nice to, as Todd and Fernando and the rest of Heedy has done, and I'm very appreciative to be a part of this circle with you guys with Catella Chronicles, is bridging the gap to as many podcast group and social media followings as possible to enjoy Angels baseball together. We can joke all the time and say, while the Angels are losing, it sucks the big dong. But we have at least fun doing it. You and I, when we do live streams, when we do podcasting, everybody involved, at least we're in it together. And if it's in celebration or therapy session, we're doing this together and we're having a good time. To extend the olive branch, I feel Heedy is always the group that is extending the olive branch and putting the opportunity out there for everybody else.
Yep.
And more times than not, you're going to get backhanded with that at the end of the day, because not everybody is going to either like you or want to partner or want to collaborate. And that's perfectly fine. Where I come from is be honest about it. Say, hey, we appreciate what you guys do, but with what our company does at Locked On or what everything else, they don't want us to do it, or we don't feel the need to do it. You guys have your following. We have our following. Keep doing what you're doing. We wish you nothing but the best, but we're going to stay separate. I think if that was something that was given to you, Fernando, or anybody else, you'd be like, no problem. We appreciate it. At least thank you for being upfront with us and not shived in the side of the back.
Yeah, because if they were saying, hey, you know what, like you're not Locked On type material, and like you said, we're able to say what we want to say. They can't. I'm fine with that. And again, I'm not looking to be part of Locked On. We didn't want it. We don't want it. We want to be our own separate entity.
Correct.
And I thought that, maybe they did this, or it was done because we went to 5 days. I know that Fernando was like, oh, did they get mad because we went to 5 days? And we went to 5 days, not because of them. They've been doing 5 days since they started. We went to 5 days because Believe Network, which is a network we're a part of, said, hey, to sign the contract, you got to go 5 days. So that's why we went 5 days. We didn't do it because of Locked On.
And for the last couple of seasons, I know we've talked about how we can branch bigger.
Yep.
And realistically, having as much up-to-date content as possible is what keeps people reeled in. So that's just natural born information. That's not something inventive and new. Yeah, it's new to Heedy and the Heedy Network because we've gone from every other day or as much as we can to once a day, the different variety of shows. We have Todd, Fernando, James Squared, and everybody else that's involved in the Heedy Network. Totally understandable. Again, for me, it's when you ask, and it's got nothing to do with baseball. When you start getting into the elements of join us for charity events, join us for the backpacks last year, join us for the softball tournaments, and you're ghosted, I get it. Things come up in life. Fernando and I, you and I have talked ad nauseum about how crazy my life has been, just individual. I know everybody's got crazy lives, but maybe that's why I haven't been as involved with Heedy for the first 2 months of the year. Just life has been off the chain crazy. And you guys have understood that, but I've been upfront and communicated that with you guys, and you guys have been very supportive of that, which is great. But you guys are in the know, and I'm in the know of what's going on with you guys. But for bigger things that are bigger than just podcasting is what strikes a chord. And again, it's not so much they're adding a post-game show. It's not communicating, the shystiness of it all. And regardless if that was their intent or not, regardless if it's true or false, we've all been in this for a while. We're not new to the game. They're not new to the game. So to not include other people in that sense, or at least just be at the table and have a conversation, is what gets me. Now, on a personal note, and I know I talked to you about it earlier in our group chat and made it known a little bit.
Fire away.
I have, and this is how I am as a broadcaster with high school sports and minor league baseball in my time, and I still do that now to this day. We all know social media is a cesspool for a lot of crap. Okay? We know it. Some of us feed into it. Some of us don't. Some of us laugh. I don't tell you what to do or not to do, right? First and foremost. When it comes to the game, at least of baseball and sports in general, prime example, I'm a Niners fan when it comes to football. Todd's Seattle Seahawks. We hate each other when we play, but at the end of the day, do we have nothing but love for each other?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I will not say a negative word. We will bash each other on Messenger between the two of us while the game is going on. No doubt about it. But it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And it's to broaden the game and to strengthen the love and to see different perspectives.
Correct.
And what I've noticed recently is on social media, and maybe it's because the Angels are really struggling this year. You know, we've been struggling for a decade, but something about this year. If I comment on something Angels related, or just look at the comments, like just to see what other people around the Twitterverse or Instagramverse are talking about, it seems like it is very attack mode basis. If you don't agree with what the lead comment is, you are in hot water. And you go after it. I had an instance where that happened, as we all know, last week against the St. Louis Cardinals, the entire squeeze bunt situation that caused a riot with Ron Washington calling out Guillerme, and that entire situation fired up the Angel fan base of putting some attention to it. Now, I forget, Todd, at least for this part of the conversation, where were you on that position of the bunt and Ron Washington calling out a player? You refresh my memory.
I usually, I think I was on that one as far as, like you said, he's got to get that one down. Yeah. Like he's got to get that bunt down because it's such a difficult. I know the pitch was outside, but you got to get that bunt down. And for a guy who's, I was against Ron too, because you're asking a guy who's only bunted 9 times in his career to bunt in that specific situation. I thought it was a terrible call, but that's just me.
For me, I was on the side of, and again, you've played the game, you know how it goes, and I see it at the high school level. When you practice and you're doing bunt drills, regardless if it's safety squeeze, suicide squeeze, bunt for a hit, sack bunt, whatever, the goal is to put the bunt down by any means necessary, especially in squeeze situations. It could be 30 feet above your head, or Vladimir Guerrero style, it 2 bounces you. You got to put it down in some way, shape, or form. Okay? And the call was squeeze. And full disclosure, like how I am, full transparency, that night, I saw a little bit of the game, not much. I was coming back from high school baseball playoffs, and it was busy time. So I see the highlights after the game and once the comments roll out about Ron Washington. And I watched the play, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 times, put it on replay, that whole 1.5-minute clip. And I'm thinking, yes, does the ball tail off? But we all know, lefty side armor, that slider's digging away. At some point, when you slow down the camera, it's crossing the front of the plate at some point. It's not like it's a lefty-righty matchup and the lefty pitcher throws it way outside and it never comes close to the zone. Regardless if it cuts forward or not, it's still going to cross the plane at some point. And yes, that pitcher was out of control. It was a ball. Somehow, some way, be like a softball player. Throw it down out there.
Yeah.
And I made the call at the end of the day saying, again, safety squeeze or suicide squeeze, however you're calling it at this point. You got to get bunt down. And Neto still, regardless if it's all guns blazing, suicide squeeze, you got to keep your head up and see what's going on. Because if it's swung through missed, instead of just running a home and stopping, let's try to get in a pickle and see if you get in a situation. Create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. And my take wasn't so much if the squeeze or safety was the right call. It was the principle of bunting. The principle of bunting. We all know bunting's a lost art. So I make the comment on Locked On's page and say, hey, squeeze this, suicide this. I don't disagree with the call of trying to bunt in a run. Maybe it should have been squeezed. Maybe it should have been safety. If it's safety, get it. Squeeze, got to get bat to ball. And let's just say the comments section went crazy.
Yeah,
and this was coming from my personal Twitter page, not Catella Chronicles, my personal Twitter page. And we get into some heated battles, and I'm responding very carefully, and people are saying some derogatory things. And I'm like, I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to give the facts. That's what I do. Then I jump on over, and again, full transparency, full disclosure. I run Catella Chronicles social media pages. I have the right for personal and professional use to like whatever post is on either thing. Just like Todd, I'm pretty sure on your personal pages, you like whatever he puts out.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando does the same thing.
Yeah, you
Rob,
support your pages.
And it's not so much about posting and liking in order to boost numbers. It's, I believe at what I'm posting. I'm being full and transparent at the end of the day. I stand for this. I like this, so on and so forth. So we get into a battle and I retweet some things from Locked On. I didn't like their, personally, I didn't like their point of takes on Ron Washington being so direct at it. And I'm like, finally, a manager that's willing to go after a player, regardless if it was right or wrong in hindsight, he's putting the player on notice that just got here. Hey, you got a job to do. Go do it.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked. Okay? So regardless if you believe it's right or wrong, your prerogative for the fans out there watching, I took it one way. And I like having a manager that will lift some guys up and will also knock them down and say, hey, you're not doing work. Do I wish it would happen to some other players like a Suarez or an Estevez or some other people? Hopefully their time will come soon to have their bottom spanked a little bit.
Yeah.
But to be told, in a sense, that what I'm about the bunt is absolutely wrong when it's opinion-based and I'm not going after. Integrity purposes, we all have a say. Not my first rodeo of someone telling me I'm wrong, they're right. But when it comes after me of I'm a hack, keyword hack, for liking my own stuff, I from day one, I have always been full transparent about I am Catella Chronicles. And we have people that filter in, David and Randy, and you guys filter in as well. I'm the one on social media. I post something, I'll like it with my private page. I posted it. I have the right to do that, and vice versa. I have never once to this day hid from the fact that I'm the man behind the Catella Chronicles page. Never once. So to be called a hack for liking my own post, not for engagement purposes of we need more followers. If right now Catella Chronicles has like under 1,000 followers, do I give two shits? No. The 800 people that are there hopefully support, and the main people that stay, regardless of what number they are, I appreciate their following. And for those that aren't, they're lost. Just like we talk about with Heedy. You follow us, that is amazing. If you don't, you're lost. We're putting good content out there, and it's amazing what we're doing with the time that we have. But to be called a hack for just liking and supporting a thought, what's the problem in that? Well, I really don't see the problem in it at all.
Yeah, see, the thing is too, I mean, coming after another page, I mean, that's one thing that Halos in the Infield has never done outside of Cox, because, I think everyone took a shot at them because of their stance on Ohtani. So that was like fair game. That was like blood in the water, and we were all sharks and we went after it. I think everybody was guilty of that. But when it comes to like, we as a podcast platform, your show, everybody else's show, we usually talk people up and say, okay, well, you want to know our, what we think about this one or we think about that one. We give our honest answers, and, we're not always in favor of certain podcasts, but we'll tell you, hey man, well, this is out there, because think about it. If we're talking about them, we're giving them, freaking free press. So I've never had a problem talking about another podcast. My thing is like how many times have you heard me, Dominique, on here saying we need to get the Angel honks and the realists together and stop being so honkish or stop being so realistic and find a common middle. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to fight back against Artie and everyone he's got in charge. And then I saw in the comments, they called the sell the team shirts white noise. They don't believe in it. It's like, okay, that's fine. That's their take. That's they have every right to say that. That's their show. That's fine. If it comes back to us, we can give our viewpoint on it too, but I'm not going to go on their social media, attack them personally, because like on here, on our comments here, and when you've done the show, any other podcast form that we've done to where there's comments just raining in, when's the last time I've attacked somebody or you've attacked somebody? Fernando has, in any of the comments. I've heard plenty of other podcasts. I won't name them, but one of them is Locked On, and like where they'll get like an email or they'll get something and they'll freaking just grill someone because they think it's a dumb quote or dumb question. Yeah. We read basically everything. And if that's your take, if you think Kevin Pillar is better than Mike Trout, well, then Kevin Pillar is better than Mike Trout. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm not going to call you an idiot. I'm not going to call you a hack.
We entertain, keyword entertain the conversation.
Exactly.
We do that all the time on live streams and throughout other different venues here at Heedy and in the Heedy umbrella. So I'm 100% on board. There's no reason. And most of the time, if we do talk about another page, it's more for comedical purposes. It's not to shoot them down and tell them what they're doing is wrong, with the exception of maybe saying Ohtani, the whole rocks in the outfield, shark blood in the water situation. But it's a situation where it's comedy. It's entertainment. We're all here to have fun and not to lose our shit at any point. But when you attack somebody just for an opinion and going after it, and I'll, again, full transparency again, the hack comment came from me retweeting one of their posts, and they were screenshotting all the times that they were in favor of Ron Washington or Ron Washington comments. And I said pretty much something along the lines of, it's all well and good, but because of one little event, let's not jump off the bridge. Angel fans, honks or realists, have been wanting change with this organization. And I'm not just talking about Artie Moreno. That, I think, hopefully, I would say 95% of us want Artie gone, and we can agree on that. There's the 5% that are wackadoodles. Okay?
Yeah.
We all want change. And first it was the managerial spot because numbnuts Nevin couldn't get the job done. We get Ron Washington. Ron Washington, he brings a different mentality. It's all great. It's all good. That is absolutely phenomenal. He's going to bring an old school style of baseball. Leadership, accountability, bunting, situational hitting, and a bunch of different things that we've seen him do as an assistant coach and a fielding coach at Atlanta, as a manager with the Texas Rangers back in the day, and through his historically very good resume as a coach. Okay? We're all jazzed up for that. Did we have high hopes for this year of Ron Washington brings a trophy year one to the Angels? Maybe the 5% that believe in Artie Moreno do think that. But look at what the Angels have had to endure so far through the first 2 months of the year. Tough losses. Rendon going down right when he starts to play pretty good. Tough. Mike Trout, even though his season wasn't great to start it off, but it's still Mike Trout and still a pivotal player in this starting lineup. Okay? The bullpen woes. Other injuries. Rengifo gets a rash and blisters on his feet. Like, what is this? Moses coming down and telling us, like, your firstborn child is gone and part the Red Sea type mentality? Like, the Angels have been put through somewhat of a ringer here so far to start the year. But when you look at it in the sense of we want change and we're getting change and we know we're in somewhat of a rebuild, this is a part of the process. And then all of a sudden, a month and a half, and the Angels are, 8-9 games under 500 and some bad baseball has been played. You have to look at perspective. Look at the roster Ron Washington has right now. He did not sign up for this roster. Did he sign up for Guillermo? No. Did he sign up for a couple other players that aren't really on this roster? No. He signed up for Rendon, Trout, Shonowell, Ward. And so far, he's gotten some pretty good numbers out of Adele. Okay? There's been injuries. There's been situations that have happened. It's not what he signed up for, but he's got to work with what he has. And sometimes you got to make something out of nothing. And that was the whole concept of the whole bunt situation that started this. And it's bringing perspective to the situation. And a lot of people think short term, where I feel myself and Heedy, we have to look long term. You can enjoy the short term. Come on. Don't tell me winning 2 of 3 from the Texas Rangers was not nice this weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
It was nice. And winning the way we did yesterday against Houston, that was great. Winning 3 of 4, hold down the roof. How the hell did we pull that off? You know, and it's great. And we can take the short-term victory wins. And and that's more than a morality win. Winning 3 out of 4 in your first time seeing any division opponents this year, great start. I love it. We've been in all 5 games, like I said at the beginning. But to have those opinions and to call somebody out and say, wait, you were on the Washington bandwagon and then you're coming down this hard? I'm not saying you're not a believer anymore, but to be this, like, cut him off at the knees, he's wrong to do this. Let's back the pedal up. This isn't the end of the year where he's done this consistently. So, you know, again, to be called a hack and different things, it's a tough look when I could have went back and said, hey, you're a hack for not doing these specific things for the Heedy page and doing a bunch of different things in that sense. But I'm not going to jump the ship and create even more drama than I feel that there was ever needed to be in that case. And I can speak freely. For my high school stuff that I do with Huntington Beach baseball, I was in a Twitter battle this weekend with one of the LA Times reporters, Eric Sodenheimer. He's been at the LA Times for 37 years. He's kind of an old crotchety man. And when you call him out and you don't kiss the ring, he'll come after you. I didn't kiss the ring twice this year. And he's come after me and told me, you deal with Huntington Beach. We don't need you talking about non-Huntington Beach things. And I screenshotted it, and then he deletes the post. So yeah. I'm full transparent. I'm willing to go toe-to-toe about integrity, transparency, and proper stats and numbers. Those are the 3 things, the 3 pillars of journalism that I've learned and that I take with me into my work that mean a lot to me. Getting your stats right, having integrity, and being open to whatever you're going to do. I didn't shut down my comment section when people were starting to speak negatively about the thoughts I had on the bunt. I didn't shut down my comments about the things I talked about with the LA Times guy. No, I more than welcome it, but don't go for the jugular if we're just having hopefully a critical conversation.
Yeah, I'll give you another one. There's this guy I can't stand, Benny Bam. He's on Facebook. He has an Angels Addicts page. And literally he'll put up like he'll go into like a rant or he'll put like a post up. And that's why I unfollowed him and everything. Cause it's like, dude, like he posts something and his comment looks stupid. And people are like, you make it public, you can get people to go on there and comment and whatnot. And you're asking the fans or whoever, and they give their perspective. And it's okay. Like I've had people come at me pretty hard, because they disagree with my standpoints either on life on my personal pages or on the Angels page. And do I stop the comments? No, but he stopped the comments. He limited the comments and he was able to respond to everybody's, give his point, feel good about himself, but nobody can have a rebuttal. And I'm like, oh, screw that guy, dude. If you are that sensitive, get the fuck off. Like, I'm off your page right away.
100%. 100%. And the only time for me, again, full transparency, that I would shut off the comments is if it gets crossed that line of threatening.
Personal,
the personal, the real personal digs. Like, I had people commenting like, oh, you don't know baseball. That's not that big of a dig. Okay. That's a throwaway comment. But if you're coming against myself, my family, my friend, and doing deep threats in that sense, then that would be a time where it's like, okay, we've hit the threshold, we're done. But it never got to that. So I'm okay with still having a conversation. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's in the end, it's baseball in the end that we we want to have open conversation. Like literally me and Fernando were talking about it when we first started the podcast together. You're talking about, I think it was like 2 or 3 times more podcasts out there that were covering the Angels. Mm-hmm. They've been dwindling down ever since. And now we're down to about maybe 6 major, if that. So, so we're in that little niche here where, again, if you had listened to a spot that I came on Angel Central's podcast, where I first promoted the revolution over there when I was trying to get some of their fans a part of it. And I said, you know what? The main podcast that we need to get is Locked On. And they were like, why do you want to get Locked On? I'm like, because if you get Locked On, they have the honks. They have a pretty good mixture of fans to where they would, if they get them endorsing it, we would get a far better reach. And the whole thing was not just for our paper bag event. It's also like when we do charity, it's only good to get the Angels community together, whether we differ from their opinions or they differ from our stances or vice versa. It would have been nice to get everyone together. And I challenge them right now to say that we never tried. We tried bunches of times to try to have them go to some of our events or to set up something big. And if they wanted to be the headliner, then so be it. I don't care. It's the fact that we were doing something as a community. And this was the only one that I thought was bigger than that, because this is also involved our team, our love for the Angels. And it's like, it would have made a difference. And for them to be calling it either white noise, that's fine. That's their opinion. But at least come back when we're sending you messages and be like, hey, we're just not interested. We'd appreciate it if you guys didn't talk about us, or if you didn't mention us with your quote unquote revolution. I wouldn't have took offense to that. I would have been like, okay, that's fine. I'd rather someone be straight up with me than Bush League. And also, like, I was shocked when I saw how they went after you, because I'm like, dude, I mean, that's just a different opinion. I mean, you're entitled to that opinion all you want. And isn't that what they want, for someone to retweet them, to repost their post, whether they're taking shots at it or not? Either way, that's getting you famous. You know what I'm saying? That's giving you more play.
Negative press is good press. That's the old fashioned saying. At the end of the day, good press is good and bad press is great. And I'm not against it. We have it all the time here at the Heedy Network, where there's people that don't agree with us. That's perfectly fine. This is not a socialist utopian society where we all got to believe the same things for Angels baseball. It's just, I think it's the principle. It's at the end of the day, it's the principle of everything. It's just the gold standard of being respectful, the integrity portion of it. So again, for those that are listening to this big therapy session for Todd and I and the Heedy Network here,
I wouldn't call it a therapy situation. I think it's just a venting one, because in the end, I don't. If he wants to start a post game, that's fine. But it just feels a little.
We'll make that clear. You, Todd, are not threatened by another post game show.
I don't care, because I know most of that dude's audience is UCLA, and he doesn't come off as someone that has much like passion for the team. And if there's someone that matches my grit and I respect that person, competition's good. Yeah. I like competition. Don't get me wrong. If there's someone that wants to compete with me, bring it on, motherfucker. Bring it on. I'm down. But just know that I will take shots and I will push back.
Yeah. So again, it's not. I forget the gentleman's name that is added on to their network now. I get it. He's a college kid getting ready to graduate. He wants an opportunity just to get his name out there. I've been in that situation before. From that element, totally understand. I've been there before as a journalist and a broadcaster. I get it. So it's not so much him. It could be on him based on his takes, and we'll have to see how that goes along. And again, that's just podcast on podcast. We're allowed to listen. Just because we're part of Heedy doesn't mean we can't listen and have an opinion on somebody else's podcast. So we'll see how that goes with him as it goes along. But here in the present moment, it's more so about the integrity of, hey, we've reached out. We want to do this. If you don't want to be a part of this, just cop to it and say it. Don't hide behind the screen. Don't, ghost us and pretend like we don't exist. That's the hard part and the principle of all this conversation. And for me, I had the little extra from the the interaction that I had last week with them.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. I totally agree with what you're saying right now. But if they're if we because some people say, just like Rodney King said, why can't we all just be friends? And that's what we've tried to do. I mean, behind the scenes, my God, if it's not Fernando being as sweet as can be, and sometimes too nice to these other podcasts. I'm not just talking Locked On, but other podcasts that he's tried to either help And it's sort of to the point where I was telling him too, and he was telling me, like, maybe we shouldn't be the nice guys anymore, because we've always been like, hey, you know what, let's try to benefit by helping each other out. Let's give them the shine, and maybe they'll return the favor and give us the shine. And
The
so
olive
many,
branch method.
yeah, and so many times on Halos in the Infield, we've given the branch to many other people that want to get on to do a show or to cross over, and we haven't gotten that back. Maybe because they think we're too outrageous, or we're kind of in left field, so to speak. But basically, you know, we've had to, whatever we've earned and what you've earned, we've all had to do that to, you know, on our own. We haven't had no help. Whatever sponsors we get, they're not handed to us. You can't tell me the Frisch brothers went out there and got eBay Motors. Come on now. That's a part of Locked On Sports. Whatever 500 commercials they have, they didn't earn any of those. They read them because they got them, because Locked On got them. Everything that we've worked for is because we worked for it as a group together. Not me, not Fernando, not Rob, not James, not you, all together. Randy, everybody that's been a part of this team. And that's what I just find irritating in the Angels community. Two things: the honkism, the willingness to not believe that you're wrong, and that's part of the AM 830 propaganda. And then number two, why does it have to be dog eat dog podcasting within the Angels community? Like, we never came on here we're going to run the show, fuck everybody else. It was always like, where can we help? You know, people have asked us, how do we do our shows? What programs do you use? This, and we're the first fuckers to go out there for free and not ask for any favors back. And we say, hey, here's how you do it. Here, you want me to help you on a Zoom call? Let me show you how to do this. We're nice as hell. Let me ask you this, Dominique. Last thing I'll say about it.
Yeah.
Is it time to stop being the nice guy?
If this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, then yeah. You know, initially, and again, you and I are full transparent people, like as well as everybody else here. Earlier this afternoon, you were willing to dive on in and go psycho. And then we took time. We thought about we thought about the situation, thought about the brand, and we realized what's the big picture item here. And it's still, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it's about the Heedy brand and what you and Fernando had started from the ground up, and what everybody else that has tagged onto this site has put into it. That's number one. Number two, is it a true dog-eat-dog world? Absolutely it is. No doubt about it. And I think at the end of the day, your best interest is to serve your own interest. And Heedy's got to do what works good for Heedy. And if it works out where if it benefits us and we reach out to somebody else and we try that element and they do respond, great. If they don't, well, retry. And if they come back, or anybody comes to us and say, hey, we want you to join in, if it's in our best interest, great. If it isn't and the timing doesn't work out, then great. You got to do what you got to do. To me, I give it up for everybody on this page that was here way before I was in 2022. And again, I can speak from example as a page. Fernando and Todd were one of the first people to privately message me when Catella Chronicles started back in May of 2 years ago, as of May, 2 years ago officially.
That's been fast 2 years, man.
It's fast 2 years. A lot of turmoil with our Angels, but still 2 years.
Yeah.
They were the first ones to say congrats on the site, without even knowing what the site was about. We're here for you. We're all a part of the Angels family. If you follow us, we'll follow you back, and we'll support each other. Yep. Great. I felt very appreciative about that, especially, from you two. Then after a couple weeks, we noticed each other, how we all had similar personalities and similar opinions. And that's when we're like, hey, you still Catella Chronicles, we're still Heedy, but if you want to have us on the podcast, share along, let's enjoy this.
Yep.
I'm not going to say no to that. We all have this. And then it grew and grew, and now, here we are. I'm a part of the umbrella, even though I still got my Catella Chronicles logo and stuff like that. I'm still here. And I appreciate that reciprocated behavior and that responsibility to integrity of enjoying Angels baseball together, because that's what it's about. Sports is not a place for politics. Sports is not a place for all the bullshit. It's where we can all have our own separate lives, but have some unity. And you don't have to have unity full 100% of the time on every single element, but you could still love Angels baseball at the end of the day. So for me, if not being the nice person, maybe not going from the nice role to like the a-hole role, maybe not being bipolar. But if we do take a step back in the sense of like, hey, we've done our business for the last 3+ years to make this thing rolling and unify and just support, and no one wants to take advantage of that, then okay, we're going to do our business. We'll support you from afar. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but we wish you nothing but the best. We're not going to wish ill will on you or call you this or call you that. We're not going to take personal shots based on your opinions. We might say your opinion may be wrong, but we want to debate about it. Healthy debates.
Yeah.
So for me, if we're at the point now where we can't be nice about it anymore and be always the olive branch type place, then it is what it is. Heaty's got to be Heaty. And this is how we've always, you guys, and I'm going to take myself out of the equation. How you guys have always been that. So I'm speaking from experience and as an outsider, we got to do what we got to do.
Absolutely.
So,
and so we got a message here. This could get interesting. So Locked On said, dudes, John here. We'd love to call in. 714-598-3221. Let's address this right now. Like, I'm not looking for controversy. What I just want, like I said, is full transparency. You either like us or you don't, vice versa. And like you said, there's plenty of opportunities where, hey, we can't do things because of life comes up. But come on, man. I mean, again, okay, here we go. It's the Halo Honk line.
Todd, John.
What's up, John? How's it going?
I'm good, man. Hey, I did my best to catch up on your perspective and what you guys were saying and everything. So I just wanted to just set the record straight with you guys on some of the stuff that you were talking about, if that's cool.
That's fine. More than fine.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Okay. Well, my thing is this, dude. This is what me and Dominic. Can you hear him, by the way, Dominic?
I can hear him. I don't know if he can hear me.
I don't think I can hear Dom.
Okay, yeah.
So Todd, if I talk, you'll just have to transpose what I say.
Yeah, it's some weird thing here with StreamYard. So that's why I knew one of you guys would be not able to hear each other. Yeah. Okay, so what we got going on tonight is the fact that, again, like we started this thing a long time ago, and we've been like told certain things like off air by either fans or whatever, and saying, hey, these guys are kind of saying a few things or they're not like on board. And what we wanted was a cohesive, element to the Angels Baseball Network, which is Heaty, and then also other podcasts like yourself. And we just felt like, again, we've reached out plenty of times, and we've always propped up other pages, always said, hey, you know what? This page is cool because they do this, and that. And we would look for people to like, hey, throw a little shade back our way. And we just never got anything. So it's like, I was under the impression with some negative things I've been hearing was the fact that maybe you guys started a post game because we went to 5 days, but 5 days was under contract with Believe that we signed up with. Trust me, we respect you guys do 5 days because it's hard for us to do 5 days. Like, we have to have a team of guys do 5 days, but in our contract to be with Believe, we had to do 5 days. So I was thinking, well, maybe they're mad because we went 5 days. I know Fernando talked to you off air about it. So I don't know. That's where we're at right now. I mean, I don't know if you heard the other stuff too.
I tried to catch up as best I could, but the fact is like Locked On is they've been doing like citywide stuff. So they have Locked On Sports Atlanta, Locked On Sports Los Angeles, Locked On Sports Dallas, and part of the Locked On City stuff that they're doing is trying to do postcasts for all those things. And so they added the postcast for Locked On Sports Los Angeles just recently. And the thing is it just affected our show because we're the only ones in season right now, but Gavin's going to be covering Lakers and the Bruins and the Rams once everybody's back in season. But I was trying to explain to Fernando, like, you know, there's no like intentional stuff behind the scenes. Like, I heard what you were saying about like feeling like there were some digs at you guys, and like I don't know, you know, where people come up with that, but like we've always been friends and enjoyed your stuff, and can't listen to everything obviously because we got our own thing going on, but and I'm sure, you know, you guys are working hard, just as hard as we are, and so I'm sure that you can't get to everything that we say either. So but yeah, man, like I'm sad that, you know, that stuff that's happened has come across in a bad way. Like I'm terrible at checking my DMs on Instagram, and so I'm looking at what you sent me about sending over stuff for the sell the team stuff. It's not even open right now, and that's my bad. But all that to say, yeah, I'm sorry that some of that stuff. I got messages from 3 weeks ago, bro. So then I haven't opened it. So, and that's not just you. That's a lot of people. So that's my apologies there. But I just wanted to reach out because I didn't want anything to, you know, I could see, well, let me just say, like, from your perspective, I could see, like, you know, how you could feel ghosted and everything like that. But, you know, just trying to make it over here and trying to get by. And you know, it's a lot. It's hard to keep up with it sometimes. And so, yeah, apologies for causing you to feel that way, sincerely.
Well, do you have anything on that, Dominic, what he said, or?
No, I get it. I don't know if he can hear, but, you know, I know you'll transpose it, but I get it. We're all in this scope of being, and life gets crazy. I know I am, and Todd and everybody else. It's just, you know, we're all on this unified front and wanting to be all in, you know, quote unquote, all in this together in that sense, like I told you, Todd, already. And it's, you know, it's all baseball. I know we all want to have a great time and enjoy the Angels, regardless if they're winning or if they're prototypically losing these days. But, you know, try to find some humility in it and just laugh about it at the end of the day, because we all have shared feelings, regardless if opinions change. But that's the love of sports. We can have those debates and support each other in that sense, and still have one united cause, which is, you know, Angels baseball at the end.
Well, yeah, Dominic was just, I don't know if you could hear that or not, John, but he was saying that, you know, we wanted to have one unified, you know, podcast form for the Angels, because in the end, we're all giving our different takes, but, you know, we should have common goals. And like, he felt slighted because, you know, the shots online about him came off pretty aggressive. And, you know, it's like, he's got that, and then doesn't have like the best feelings towards, you know, some of the things have been said by some of the fans, but, you know, we realize that because that's all part of social media at times. But it's one thing when we attack each other, and I had no intentions of attacking tonight, but just venting in a way, because I just feel like we've been pushed around too much with other podcasts. And like, okay, I get it. You're apologizing for not reading the messages, but dude, like, we gave you like a big time advance before our softball games, because we felt we're putting in money of our own to get charity money out to other things. And and you guys have a huge platform, and we were looking just to incorporate you with us, whether you fielded a team or not, whether you just said, hey, we're busy, but check these guys out. They're doing a really nice thing. They're getting Angel fans together. They have a charity for kids. And, you know, your word would have went a big way. And so that's why I was like, you know, things happened that first time. And the second time I was like, dude, come on, man. Like, you know, like we, you know, and then same thing with these shirts. It's like, I just wanted it because I've listened to your show, because you guys do have good takes. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And you know, we dig what you've done with Locked On. And so like, I was like, all right, well, maybe, I know they've been critical of Perry. They've been critical of Ron, and they've been critical mostly of Artie, which has been, you know, different from years past when you guys had the show. And so I was like, cool, man, maybe they're on this too. And we can get them supporting us too in a way that because with Angel Central and Inside Halos, we're going to put their logos on the shirts as well. So whoever was part of it, we just patched this sucker together and branded as, hey man, we're just tired of this crap. Whether it's not to get him out because we don't believe we can move him out, but we believe we can embarrass him, obviously from opening day, his montage.
Right.
Yeah. It's just stuff like that. So that's why I think a lot of us took it the other way. You know what I mean?
Totally. And you know what? I would love to be better about supporting you guys, even if I don't feel like I can personally make it to the softball game and stuff like that. Like, it'd be so much fun to participate, and I'm bummed that I haven't participated in the past too. And I barely ask Mike to do anything other than our show, outside of our show, because I know that he's so busy with what he's got going on. But as far as me, like, that's something that I feel like, yeah, we'd love to support what you guys are doing because you guys do good things. Now, can I address this? We're going to get into the weeds here a little bit, but and I'm doing my best to keep up because I think I got the show and I'm trying not to play that in the background so there's no feedback. But, Dom, I followed you and like has never had a problem. And then your tweet that reposted us when I was upset that Ron Washington made that decision, you said, love Halos in the infield. They're the OG and not hacks like other pages. And so I said, go hack yourself, dude, because honestly, like, you called us hacks. And so there was never any beef before that started. So, and if I got to pull the receipts, bro, then that's fine. But it's like, let's not twist what happened here. Like, there was never an issue until you disagreed with Ron Washington, and that's fine. But then you came at us and called us hacks. And so that's what it is, what it is. So like, okay.
Yeah, no. And
I hear you, like, let's have respectful conversations, but that's where it started, bro. So all that to say, I think that's like, just that's petty stuff and whatnot. But I hear what you're saying, Todd. Like, we'd love to be more supportive of what you guys are doing and everything. So yeah.
Okay, Dominic, you got a rebuttal for that?
Yeah, I think it was the collective comment of that night of there was a lot of pages and a lot of people basically putting Ron Washington on the sword and, chalking him up after one moment, one situation. And we all know through the first month and a half, 2 months of the season, it's been rough. We can all admit that it's rough, a lot of feelings. We all support the team. We know that at the end of the day. And, it wasn't so much locked on. It was more a lot of people in the comments section, a lot of things. And I'm like, guys, Todd knows me, Fernando, a lot of people know me. I'm a full transparent person. I have no problem with the receipts. I still have them.
Disagree with you, but you retweeted us, man. Like I can't.
Yeah,
I'm probably behind here because I know you probably said more, but I'm hearing you. I'm probably behind here. Probably said more.
Go ahead.
Hearing you.
Yeah, we were in the conversation. So your post came up, so I used that as a.
Oh, sorry guys, I'm giving you an echo. My bad.
Oh no,
I'm just saying, like, it was everybody was passionate that night, and there are a lot of people that tweeted stuff at you, but like, I mean, it felt called out when you retweeted our picture and our post, and so I said, hey, all right. If we're gonna do this, that's fine. I'm not just gonna like lay over and die. I mean,
no, and I don't. I trust me. I appreciate personally.
Not everything here. It just seems like, well, they said this to me and hurt my feelings, and it's like, okay, you started it.
Okay, well, you heard that part. Here's Dominic's rebuttal. Go ahead, dude.
No, I have no hurt feelings of it at the end of the day. I appreciate the passion. I appreciate everything. That's not, it was more using your post to highlight the fact of, yes, they're supportive Ron, and we're coming down on him so quickly in this sense. And, there was more to that post of, we all feel like the Angels fan base and on social media can be, we can all be bipolar at times. We want change, then we hate when change happens and it doesn't go our way, or things that are uncharacteristically happen to the Angels and we get in our feelings about it. So it's more so about like, if we're going to be bipolar, be bipolar. If we're going to be consistent in that sense. And, that's how we felt in that moment with Ron Washington in that game. And it was more so about you not that you're not supporting Ron Washington, but how hard you're coming down on him for one decision where who knows if he gets it wrong or right at the end of the day. But that's what the sports public forum is about debating about what's right and wrong. And at the end of the day, sometimes nothing is right or wrong. It's a big flat bill of gray area at the end of the day. And to me, hack whatever, not going to hurt my feelings at the end of the day. Heedy, Catella Chronicles, anybody else, they have a right to like whatever stuff and support whatever stuff in that sense. I just think of how quick a lot of fans, and not just you or whoever else that was in the comments or probably had thoughts and don't even use social media, how quickly we just turned on a dime on one manager that I think we still all feel that is still the right guy for this position, but the Angels organization is in a hotbed of trouble at this point.
Are you still listening on the delay?
Yes, sorry.
All right, it's cool.
I think I'm caught up now.
Okay.
Well, listen, we got started because it was like 2021. My brother and I wanted a chance to connect once a week, so that's why we started Super Halo Bros. We actually reached out when Halos Haven stepped down from the position because he went through a personal tragedy, losing his partner on the show. And I think that, when he got the offer to do Locked On, it ended up being quite a lot and not what he expected, not the format he wanted to do his show in and whatnot. And so, yeah, I reached out because I was like, hey, this is a good opportunity. And so, yeah, I just wanted to clear that up because I know it could probably seem like, Locked On didn't like what he was doing and whatnot, but, from his perspective, it was more of a personal decision because of stuff that had happened prior. And, so there was an opportunity there for us to get going on that. So I just wanted to clear that up because I know that you had touched on that earlier in the show.
Well, yeah, look, I have my feelings on that one because I love Johnny too. And when Johnny passed, dude, that ate at me too, because he was such a good guy and they had a really good team over there. So it wasn't just Halo Haven, it was Johnny and the older gentleman they had on their show. I forget his name. But they're all good guys. But I ain't gonna lie to you, like, man, Halo Haven wasn't pulling it, man, whether it was personal or not. When you guys came along, it was a breath of fresh air. Like, I'm like, hey, they saved the show because for whatever, whether you're being nice or not, I mean, like, the dude didn't have what you guys have by himself. So you guys elevated that show. So like again, like, I gave you props from the start. And I just feel like slide it away because, like, again, we've reached out many of times, and I know you said sorry. I'm not asking for any more apologies, or did I ask for one in the first place? But I appreciate that. I'm just saying,
for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I think as with the amount of podcasts we have covering this team, I think we should be more transparent with each other. So if we're trying something, whether you guys try a charity event, I would hope that you guys would consider us in. Or if you guys had something planned and you guys needed help, we've always been the type that's like, hey man, you need something, hit us up. It's no big deal. Because we really don't have rivals in this business outside of Cox in the outfield, which is no more. But that was our only, quote unquote beef. Other than that, I mean, we should be rooting and cheering or booing for the same things here.
Oh, agreed. And to go back to your original point, I just want to set the record straight. We think you guys are great. Fernando's helped us out with some stuff in the past too when we've reached out. And so we really appreciate that. Absolutely. And I saw you at an Angels game the first time, and I was excited to meet you. And the feeling is still there, man, in terms of you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we're all doing the best we can with the different shows that we have. And I've always said, even before we got to Locked On Angels, like, there's a different show out there for everybody. And so, like, you guys are more raw and real, and Mike and I don't use bad language, and sometimes we want to, but it's a team. But like, it's just like that's. I think there's a show out there for everybody. So, and again, like, I know you didn't ask for the apology, but I just wanted you to know that there's no issue or ill will, and apologies for the way that has come across in the past. So, I'll do my best in terms of, managing our socials and where you guys reach out and stuff. I'm going to do my best to get back to you in a timely way. And, if you need support for something that you guys are doing, like, that's definitely not a problem.
All right. Well, I guess that, do you have any thoughts on that, Dominic?
I just want the Angels to win and make us all happy. I just want us all happy with the Angels. That's the goal, man. But no, let's go take a series win in Houston tomorrow morning. That's what I want.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, okay. Well, he's just hoping for that Angels series win. I don't know if you heard that or not, John, but I guess we'll just leave it at that, man. No ill wills from us either. Again, like for me, like I said, like, Dominic's willing to squash that, we'll squash it here too. But if he's doing that for Locked On, that's fine. Like, there was never that case. It was just like, hey, like, we kind of reached out to you about the 5 days thing. I thought there would be something like that too, where, because we didn't want to encroach on what you guys were doing. We didn't want you to think that we're copying you for any reason. And so we just felt the same thing, like we get something. And then when Fernando sent me that post you guys were doing, I was like, all right, like, I didn't hear nothing about it. This came out of nowhere. But if it's your superiors or whatever, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And honestly, it's you guys are so dialed in with your production value and like, you also have a longer show. You've got call-ins, you've got your own thing going that is fantastic. And so I wouldn't sweat anything that's happening on our end. And so I think that everything's going to be just fine. And I know what I wanted to bring up was, like, takes. I think it came up earlier in the show just about, they said something that it was exactly what you guys said. Look, if I wish that I could tune into every episode, I wish that I could get every take. I wish that I could, hear everything that you guys have to say. The truth is it's hard to keep up with other shows, and that's not because I don't want to listen to them. It's because there's just not enough time in the day to get to everything. So the fact is, if there's something that you've said that we say the next day, it's probably because we're smart Angel fans and we all agree on the same thing.
Yeah, probably. But how some people like to stir the pot. So who knows?
I get that.
It is. We could have some people out there just doing it for the hell of it. So, but that's just what we were hearing, and I guess when emotions get stirred up, that's what happens. So, but we'll just okay.
It's nice to hop on. I'm sorry I'm taking up too much time on the on the show, but I just wanted, I saw that you were upset and I was like, oh man, like, I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We'll definitely talk some more, man. Don't mind the fans either on here. We have a 90-second rule on phone calls, so they're just giving you shit on there. They're saying 9,000 seconds. So
I deserve it.
Nah.
9,000 seconds.
All right, man. Well, appreciate the call in, John.
Yeah, you guys take care and be well and keep doing your thing, because what you guys do is awesome, and we appreciate you guys for sure.
All right, man. Appreciate it, dude.
And balls, and Artie Marine.
Oh, man. You got me there. All right, brother. Have a good night. All right, that's John right there. Dominique.
Hi.
that went interesting.
Hey, I said it was going to be a therapy session at some point.
Well, I mean, I was looking for someone like to be having a.
Where's Dr. Phil when you need it?
I don't know, dude. Oh my god. Jeez. That was Big 20, by the way. That was Big 20.
Yeah, of course it was. He was waiting his 90,000 hours for that call, baby.
I know, dude. We're an hour and 41 minutes. He's like, hey, I gotta tell you about the time I didn't score. But hold on, save that for tomorrow.
That was called the Angels in extra innings. I didn't know Big 20 was in Houston.
No. He's patiently waiting with a surfboard in hand and a Shirley Temple in the other one.
I will say that sounds nice. Hey, if the Angels can win, let's all take a photo with the surfboard and a Shirley Temple.
Well, if he scores, I think it's Shirley Temples for everybody. I got the rounds.
Let's go. Let's get him. Hey, at the end of the day, man, like I said online, but we'll cap it off like this before I don't know if you want to quickly preview tomorrow's game at all, but
yeah, there was a baseball game tonight.
There was a baseball game, and Angels lose an extra inning 6-5. Tough night. There was decent pitching. All the phone calls coming in now, but we'll save them for tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get them tomorrow.
I won't be on tomorrow. It'll just be Todd. So you guys can have he'll probably take double the amount of phone calls tomorrow.
Correct.
The whole post-game show might be phone calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be.
It could be. Like Griffin Canning had a good, let's look at some positives here. Griffin Canning had a big night, 5 innings. He only allowed back-to-back home runs in the first inning. He's done this all year long. Bad first or second inning, but he's able to even out throughout the game and still give the Angels a chance. So I can appreciate Griffin Canning. Kevin Pillar continues to be a stud in the middle of this order. He cranks that home run to give the Angels the lead at that time. Shonowell, 3 hits on the night. Great work from him. Rengifo got the offense started. His defense, but it wasn't overly detrimental at the end of the day. Say what you want about this bullpen. It was a rare outing for Fulmer tonight, who gave up that 2-run shot. My opinion, I feel Strickland should have came out once again after pitching a clean 9th, should have came out and pitched the 10th instead of going to Estevez. I do think that's Ron Washington at the end of the day trying to spark something in Estevez's mind and body to try to get him on the right page. He got 2 outs. Unfortunately, it was a sacrifice fly, or not a sacrifice fly. He gets the out, then gives it the base hit. But again, Joe Adell's not hustling to the ball. It's going to be down for a base hit. It is what it is at the end of the day. So it's just one of those losses, again, not only in extra innings, but just probably the 11th loss for the Angels this year by a run or so that they could have been better. But hey, they still have an opportunity to win the series and take 4 of 6 on this road trip in the Texas 2-step. You got Tyler Anderson on the bump. Todd, tell me, they should win the game. Can the Angels do it tomorrow in a morning game?
Judging in Houston's, no. I think we take another loss and we finish very disrespectfully 3-3 on the road trip. I like what Tyler Anderson can give us, but even he's struggled there. It's going to take a monumental performance for him and a really good offensive production from us to win. Big 20, just call in real quick and get it over with. We'll take a 2-minute call before we get out of here. I'm sorry, Dominique, but
you're fine. No, do it.
He's having a heart attack right now. So
I haven't heard from Big 20 a little bit. So should I start the clock at 90 seconds as soon as he says hello?
Yes.
And I'll do the signal. I'll do the signal to wrap up.
See, here he goes. Just like that.
Tell him hello. Hello.
It's a big 20.
Yeah, Tom, what's up? Finally, brother. Woohoo!
What's going on, man?
Dude, so I got the spring football tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
Spring football game. And I'm number 40. Someone took number 20, but 20 times 20 is 40.
So there's
that's why I picked 40 for tomorrow's game.
wow, I love how you just brought that all together. I wasn't even thinking that 20 plus 20. That's great.
Yes, sir. And it's my birthday this weekend. Big 1A, baby.
Again?
Yeah, bro. It's that time of the year again.
Oh, my gosh.
Big 1A. Time to get some when I'm super hammered, I'll surely hit temples and be like, hey, you're in college. I'm legal now. and get freaky. Woohoo!
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do first by getting freaky?
Oh, I'm gonna kiss her and then pull down my pants.
Okay.
Emotional damage.
All right.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
Awesome in the tent.
Nope.
Yeah, hopefully I have a in the tent all 4 nights that I'm there. Thursday through Monday. So I have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday night. Yeah. I have the same girl in my tent. It's gonna be awesome because I'm legal now and I can get with college chicks. Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't be rape, right? Like them raping you because you're 18. Yes.
Yep. Well, too bad the Angels won, but hopefully
good for you.
And I'll call in tomorrow night because I'm gonna be super pumped if my team wins tomorrow night against the offense. And go Angels! And I'll call in tomorrow night. Oh yeah!
Can't wait. Was worth the wait right there. Big 20, right?
What a way to cap off the night. Nearly 2 hours of bliss between Todd, the post-game show, Big Hammer, Angels losing extras. Wow. What a Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Big 20 really he really capped off the show tonight.
That was the fireworks we needed. Tyler Anderson and Hunter Brown. The Astros have a pitcher who has over 7.7 ERA, which means by Angel lore in history, they'll get no more than 3 runs tomorrow.
Yep, exactly. We'll lose 4-3 or something stupid. So,
but we'll see. We'll hope. We pray for the best, hope for the best, but expect the worst.
Exactly. So Dylan says, laugh out loud, bro. This is more entertaining than the Angels. What the fuck?
What was the key word? One of the key words tonight? It was entertain. We're glad we could entertain your Tuesday night.
I think we I think we took on the Artie mentality. Don't worry about the product on the field, just the entertainment. We need to entertain the fans. Winning is not everything.
We you know what? We did our best Artie impression of the season tonight. It only took us 2 months, but you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Love it.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody that called in, John, for clearing things up and getting on, and also for we just I don't know what else to say, man.
Winning cures everything, and tomorrow the season starts tomorrow.
Yes, it sure does, and I'm pretty sure
we got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Tomorrow morning.
Exactly. Tomorrow morning. Yeah, it'll be done before. I'm actually going to do a late post game because the game ends around 2:30 or something. So I probably won't be on till like 5 tomorrow. So
Todd will have plenty of unfinished business.
Oh yeah, unfinished business all the time. But as we scoot out of here, this is definitely one of the most interesting shows we've done. So Yeah.
I'm glad to have been part of it.
Yeah.
You take the wins. Hey, yeah, I can't wait. I know we're still scheduling, but for the viewers, Todd and I are currently in the midst of planning the next live stream.
Mm-hmm.
It may be the Yankee series. We're leaning towards the Friday game against the Mariners because it's on Apple TV, and we know how much we love Apple TV.
Yep. So turn down your sound, listen to Dominic and myself on color, and that should be fun like it has been the last few times. So we'll have that for you coming up. We'll announce that, and we'll have that game and possibly another game moving forward, like you said. But again, if you haven't followed Catella Chronicles, why haven't you? So look him up on Instagram, look him up on X, and he has great content. And when Ducks season comes around, if you're still a Ducks fan, he's got plenty on the Ducks rebuild because they're actually trying to do something right over there. So
the right way. How about that?
Absolutely. So for Todd Fox from Halos in the Infield and
Dominic Lorenz, Catella Chronicles, Todd, we love the Heedy family. Thank you.
You're welcome, and we'll catch you on the flip side.